What's going on, guys? My name's Corrupt, and today I'm bringing you guys my ultimate Lavaloon attack strategy guide. This guide is aimed to help you guys understand how to do the Lavaloon portion, as well as how to use different Lavaloon attack strategies. This will include Suihiro Lavaloon, Queen Walk Lavaloon, and Electron. All these three attacks are extremely powerful and definitely do a lot of work. But we are first going to break down how you guys can do the Lavaloon before we actually start using we start talking about the strategies. So then you guys could really start understanding how you guys can do the Lavaloon and then apply that to the three different attacks that I have for you guys in this video. Now, the first thing we're going to be talking about today is going to obviously be breaking down the Lavaloon. Now, when you guys are doing the Lavaloon portion of any Lalo attack, what you really want to understand is that you're going to be hasting up your loons into the base, but you're also going to try and get the loons in. This will include rage, this will include haste. What you really want to make sure, though, is that you surgically place your loons in. Now, the reason that this is important is because that you really want the loons to clump up and actually one-shot defenses. The main reason why is because they do area splash. That means that they actually do more damage per hit than what it says in their damage per second. This means that you may actually want to take advantage of that, because usually it's only going to take a few loon drops to actually take out a defense. So on the screen here, you will see the amount of loons that you need to take out certain defenses. All this is for Town Hall 10, but usually this will work for stuff higher than Town Hall 10 and even at Town Hall 9. So you really want to make sure that you guys really understand that, especially when you are attacking with this specific attack strategy. Now, the original was made by Carbon Fin, which I will leave a link down in the description to his video on it, so you guys should definitely go check that out. But when you guys are doing this, it is a very, very simple approach of just sending in some loons there to take out certain defenses in one shot, using a haste there to really push them into the base, and a rage maybe in the middle, close to like once the loons are inside the base to actually do some work. Sometimes you may use a rage on the outside, but usually haste allow your loons to get in quicker than they do under a rage, especially since that rage is not maxed. So you really want to make sure that you understand that when you guys are using this attack strategy. So now we're going to start going ahead and breaking down the three unique different Lalo attack strategies we have for you guys, which the first one is Suihiro Lalo. So the Suihiro Lavaloon attack strategy. This attack strategy is very strong and is very easy to start using, especially at Town Hall 10. Now, you guys can do this without having a Town Hall 12, but if you guys do, then that's even better. Now, if you guys don't have a Town Hall 12 and you don't have access to siege machines, well, you can bring loons in the CC, or you can bring a Lalo CC. If you're bringing loons in the CC, you just want to use them towards the back end of the base to go in with your group of loons, but you want to make sure that you use the haste spell to try and keep them as they start going through the base. The other thing is when you guys are using a Lalo CC, you really want to make sure that when you guys are using it, that the Hound will tank for the rest of your loons, as well as the max loon that you have in your CC. Now, if you do have access to siege machines, well, that's not a bad idea to actually bring an Electro Dragon or loons. Now, the two siege machines that you might actually start using is either going to be the Battle Blimp or the Stone Slammer. The Stone Slammer allows you to have a little bit more tankage as it starts to go in, but really what you're going to be using is either loons or an Electro Dragon. The Electro Dragon can be used to take out the Queen and a air defense if you choose so. So you guys sometimes may want to try using that. Other times you can try using a Battle Blimp. Usually you got to remember, though, that the Stone Slammer does not go for the Town Hall and goes for defenses, while the Battle Blimp actually goes for the Town Hall. So you really want to make sure. So sometimes you may want to actually try and get an Inferno and an air defense if they're close, especially if you guys are using loons within the Battle Blimp or Stone Slammer. Just the Battle Blimp is able to get a little bit deeper into the base than the Stone Slimer, especially if the Stone Slimer is getting hit extremely hard by a bunch of different defenses. So you just really want to make sure that you guys really understand that when you guys are doing this. Now, if you're not using a Siege Machine, then use Wall Breakers to break your Queen and King in to actually get this enemy CC if it's a damage CC, and also try and get the enemy Queen and at least one of the air defenses. That will really help in terms of the long haul, just because you really want to try and take out that Queen. Now sometimes you don't even have to take out that Queen, and it's a good thing because you have the brand new Skelly spells. Usually having 2 Skelly spells is just fine, and that will actually help you get through the Queen and even distract an Inferno or another splash defense, because it does take them more than one shot to actually kill the Skelly, since they do have shields. So you really want to make sure that you can use at least one of the Skelly spells, either a max for your Town Hall or a max for the game that you get within your CC. So it's usually a good option. It just depends on your personal preference. Now, you don't have to use Skelly spells, and you can use an Electro Dragon, but usually you're going to be using that if you do have a Siege Machine. Other than that, bring those Skelly spells. They are very, very strong and very useful in this attack strategy. Now, when you guys are starting your Lavaloon portion, just make sure that you guys surgically place your loons in, and then also send in your Hounds to tank for those loons, so that then they soak up any traps while your loons focus on destroying defenses. You can use Rage within anywhere in the base to get those loons to really one-shot defenses, especially if there's a little group of them, and once they start moving together, use that heal spell to really heal all of them up back to full health, so that then they're ready to get through the rest of the base. You're also going to try and haste up those loons as they go through. Just remember to put them in little groups, just so that then they can one-shot defenses a little bit easier, just like how you guys saw the chart at the beginning of the video. So you guys really want to make sure that you guys understand that when you guys start using this attack strategy. So I don't think I missed anything with this one, but let's go ahead and jump into the next one, which is the Electro. So the next one we're talking about here is going to be the Electron Lalo attack strategy. I call this because Electron can be used in not just Lalo attacks, but the Electron Lalo attack strategy is very, very strong, especially right now. I use it at Town Hall 11, and it is very strong. I'm practicing it in multiplayer to really understand the strategy a little bit better and get it down more. So it's definitely something that you guys should really be trying out at Town Hall 10, just because of how strong it can really be at Town Hall 10. Now, this attack can be used with both the Battle Blimp and the Stone Slimer. It depends on where that Queen is and where the Town Hall is, but sometimes you can bring either or. Now, this attack, you are bringing 1 to 2 clone spells, so that then you can actually clone the loons just enough to actually take out some defenses, while also still being a tank for that Electro Dragon. Now, you're looking for at least the Queen, and if you can chain onto a air defense, that's even better. Now, don't forget, you're using the haste spells, and you're also bringing the heal, and you're bringing a poison. The main reason you're bringing poison is for the enemy CC. Most likely, you guys will see a dragon or a baby dragon CC, aka a damage CC, and you want to use the poison to try and at least take that out as the loons and the Stone Slimer start going in, along with the Electro Dragon popping and the loons, spreading out, those cloned loons spreading out everywhere. Now, when you guys want to use this, you really want to make sure that you look at where the air sweepers are pointed. Now, if you're using the Stone Slimer, this is a good option to actually not attack where the air sweepers are pointing, just because you actually want to enter in away from where they are. This is actually a really good thing, so that then your Electro Dragon doesn't get pushed back. This attack also works against the single target Infernos, so this is a really good option to actually start using. But when you guys are actually using this, you want to make sure that you clone the loons right before that loon dies. Just make sure that loon doesn't die and you are all set. Other than that, you've most likely failed the attack. You really want to try and clone those loons so that then they act as a tank for your Electro Dragon as they start going through. Now, usually, you're going to try and just get that queen along with any other value. When you're sending in your Lavaloon portion, you really want to make sure that you surgically place them in and use the hounds to tank, just like how I said at the beginning. But the other thing is, with this, is you're using a Sui hero. And it doesn't really matter when you start the Sui hero, because you want to try and get as much value as you can with your Electron, and then you also want to then use your Sui hero maybe during the Lalo or after the Lalo. It doesn't really matter when you start doing that Sui hero, but you really want to make sure that the Sui hero can also get some value to help your Lalo go through the base. That is the main part of this, and it is really helpful if you guys can actually know exactly what value you're looking for, such as any air targeting defenses, Expos, Infernos. You can also try and get Wizard Towers, Archer Towers. Really just try and make sure that you guys can get those, and you will be just fine as you start to move through the different base designs and taking each of them out. Now, the other thing that you really want to understand with this is that you can also use the Battle Blimp. And as I said at the beginning, the Battle Blimp isn't a bad option to use. The Battle Blimp is able to get a tad bit deeper into the base and is a tad bit quicker than the Stone Slammer. So you really want to make sure that using the Battle Blimp, you can actually take out that queen and possibly any other air targeting defenses when you move in with your Battle Blimp. It's usually a good idea, and it's roughly the same basic thing, just like using the Stone Slammer, but you really want to make sure that you guys can really use that Battle Blimp to get a lot of good value when you guys are starting to use this. Now, I don't think I missed anything with this one, so we're going to go ahead and jump into our final example, which is actually going to be the Queen Walk Lavaloon. The Queen Walk Lavaloon attack strategy. This one is by far the strongest. It's pretty simple to learn, but definitely the Queen Walk is hard to master. Now, I do encourage you guys to look at my Queen Walk video. If you guys haven't, I'll leave a link down in the description to go check that one out. But also do some practice in the practice mode. That'll help you guys really understand the Queen Walk just that tad bit better when you go through. Now, this attack, you can use jump just like before, but this time you can use Earthquake. Why am I saying Earthquake? And the main reason is it's because you can open a big amount of walls that you cannot jump over. This is the power of Earthquake. Yes, you are going to have less spell space. It does take up 2 spell slots to have 4 Earthquakes. However, this works incredibly well in terms of getting so much value. You can still actually open up a good chunk. You can even open up to the core of the base if the base allows you to. And what this is allow you going to do is get a lot of air targeting defenses. Air defenses, the Queen, Expos, Wizard Towers, maybe even Infernos if you're going to come into that area. However, you really want to try and look for any air targeting defenses and the Queen and also the CC. Once you deal with those, you can actually start sending in your Lalo very similarly to how we just talked about before. But just remember that your weakness to your Queen Walk is going to be those Seeking Air Mines hitting those healers. You really want to make sure that you guys stay away from those. Now, obviously, if they're in the base, you really can't do anything about those. So you really want to make sure that when you start going in with this attack, that you really want to use the Queen Walk to try and take out some value, and then the Lavaloon portion on the back end away from that Queen Walk to actually get a lot of value. And just remember, if your Queen takes out all the air defenses, the Hound will now start to tank for any defenses. That means that you are going to be able to have the loons either from the Stone Slammer or from your regular army composition that survive to really be tanked by that Lava Hound as they start to go defense to defense. So you just really want to make sure that you guys do that and understand that as you start going through with different attacks. Now, this attack is very, very simple. As I said, using the Stone Slammer on the back end of the base along with the Lavaloon portion. You don't always have to do that, but the Earthquake is, I think, the biggest thing that you guys can try to use. If you guys use a jump, that's perfectly fine. But really, you really want to try and use the Earthquake to your advantage. This will allow you to actually open up so many compartments and will be able to get you more value than what it was before. Just remember, you're going to be try to bring at least 3 hastes if you can with this one. And it's just mainly because those 3 hastes are really going to allow you to do your Lavaloon right as you start sending everything in. Just remember that you want to surgically place everything in when you guys are starting to use this. And then you also want to try and use at least a loon to, you know, see if there are any SAMs there. And that's usually a good idea. It's very similar to if there is a Seeking Air Mine for a baby dragon. So you really want to try and make sure that you can really see if there are any Seeking Air Mines that are really going to hurt the healers at the beginning. So you just really want to make sure that you guys understand that when you start to go in. Just make sure that you deal with the CC and you also deal with the Queen so that then you guys can get other pieces of value, air defenses, wizard towers, infernos, air sweepers, expos. Just really want to make sure that you guys can get those so that then you can have an easier time with your Lalo. So I hope that this really helped you guys understand the Lavaloon a little bit more, as well as understand each of these different attacks. So if you guys did enjoy this video, why not leave a like and subscribe for more of my content. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you guys don't miss an upload. Also, follow me on Twitter so you guys get, well, you guys can just follow me on Twitter. The link to it is going to be in the description below. Also, feel free to join my community Discord server and the Humanity family Discord. Those links are in the description below. And feel free to join the college. I think it's a college. That server, so then you guys can actually get more information from there, as well as other videos from not just myself, but other creators as well. So there you guys go. That link is also in the description below. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video, and I'll be seeing you guys next time. Corrupt, signing out.